Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Explore and Engage with Anam. My friends, yesterday was a dark day for Americans. It was a very dark day in our country, the United States of America. In a trial held in New York, Donald Trump was found guilty on 34 counts. Donald Trump is the former president of the United States. He's also the presumptive Republican nominee for president. And in my opinion, Donald Trump is an innocent man, and he is also an American hero. The former Republican president was found guilty on 34 counts by a jury in a heavily Democrat city of New York, in a heavily Democrat state of New York. There are lots of questions right now about what happens next. Reportedly, sentencing will take place in July. And as of the time of the recording of this episode, this is still the month of May. While the trial has ended, many people still wonder, what was Trump accused of? I think most people still cannot figure out why was Trump put on trial. Many people view this trial and this verdict as politically motivated. There are people out there who don't want to see Trump become president again. People on the left. There are radical leftists who don't want to see Trump become president again, and so they are coming up with all kinds of legal challenges and lawsuits to try to slow down Donald Trump. The left is trying to prevent Donald Trump from becoming president again. And so a lot of Americans view this trial and this verdict as politically motivated. This trial was an effort to slow down Donald Trump as he moves forward towards the election. So what happens now? That's the question. What happens now? Now that a guilty verdict has been delivered, what's going to happen from here on? There are lots of questions in people's minds. First of all, many Americans are losing their confidence in the justice system. After this sham trial and this guilty verdict, a guilty verdict against an innocent man, after the sham trial and a guilty verdict against an innocent man, many Americans are not going to be able to trust the justice system. And that is probably the biggest damage that we are facing right now. People losing their confidence in the justice system. I did a live stream last night on my YouTube channel, and I mentioned that we are a country of law and order. And I grew up learning that America is a nation of laws. And let me ask you this. If people lose their confidence in the justice system, what's going to happen to our country? Also, the American people can see how unfairly a former president is being treated. The American people understand that this was a politically motivated trial to slow down Donald Trump as he's campaigning for president. And this guilty verdict against an innocent man, a guilty verdict against an innocent man, is the reason why people are losing their confidence in the justice system in America. Now that there's a guilty verdict, many Americans are wondering what kind of restrictions may be imposed upon Trump. Will there be restrictions on his travel? If there are restrictions on travel and movement, then how is it going to affect Donald Trump's campaign? Here's something important to remember, my friends. The sentencing is scheduled for July 2024, just days before the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Regarding the sentencing, people wonder if that means that there will be jail time or house arrest or probation. What will sentencing look like? There are so many questions that American people are asking. The American people want to know what sentencing might look like. And also, let's remember that Donald Trump can appeal. His legal team can appeal the verdict. And then the question is, how long will that appeal process take? My friends, let's not forget that Donald Trump and Joe Biden, they are also scheduled to participate in a debate towards the end of June. I think the date is June 27th. Donald Trump and Joe Biden are scheduled to participate in a presidential debate on June 27th. And the debate will be hosted by CNN, according to news reports. So June 27th comes before the sentencing in July. And so the question is, what will the debate look like? The Democrats, they think that they got a victory in the form of this verdict, because now they are going to engage in name-calling, more and more name-calling. And they are going to point out the fact that Donald Trump has been convicted in court, and the leftists, they will not admit the fact that this was an unfair trial, but the American people can see the truth. The American people know that this was an unfair trial, but the radical left will not admit that. The American people can see the truth. They can see how unjust the New York judicial system has been in this case. But the radical left will continue to beat their drums in favor of this unfair verdict. The American people will be the real judge. The American people will be the real judge on November 5th, when the presidential election will take place. On November 5th, freedom-loving Americans will reject the Democrats and overwhelmingly elect Donald J. Trump. That's what I believe will happen. I believe that the American people will reject the verdict in this sham trial and overwhelmingly show their support for Donald Trump and vote to elect him as president. That is what I believe will happen next. Of course, between now and November 5th, the radical left will engage in name-calling. They will be expressing their happiness. There will be faces on TV cheering because of this verdict. But in the end, the truth will prevail. And the truth is that Donald J. Trump is an innocent man. He's an American hero. He's the former president, and I believe that Donald J. Trump will be elected president again in November 2024. My friends, share with me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Send me a message. You can visit my website, tausifanam.net. If you want to send me an email, let me give you my email address. It is tausif@tausifanam.net. You can also connect with me on social media. You will find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, formerly known as Twitter, and you will also find me on Truth Social. So get in touch with me, share with me your thoughts. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you once again for continuing to listen to my podcast, and I hope to be back again soon with a new episode of Explore and Engage with Anam.